Well, the world is not what it's supposed to be. That's for sure. Volcanoes, earthquakes, and now latest, Israel bombing a uranium enrichment plant in Iran. Well, you know what that is. That's going to lead to an armed conflict. Can we talk tribulation beginning soon? Yeah. So, don't know what it is. Someone wants to give me money, and I don't believe them. No one wants to give me money. So, I can start out with this one here. Denial. Biden calls disastrous job report incredible news. Yeah, I think so too. Well, let's go to it. There he is, the lizard. U.S. hiring slowed in November 2021 as the country continues its slow recovery amid ongoing COVID pandemic, adding just 210,000 new positions that disappointed most economists' expectations. Today, we have incredible news that an unemployment rate has fallen to 4.2%, a level experts didn't expect to achieve until 2024. We created 588,000 jobs per month on average this year, a record. America is back to work and our job recovery is going strong, posted the president on Twitter. So, the Labor Department said this monthly payroll report released Friday that payrolls in November rose by just 210,000, well below the 550,000 job forecast by Refinitiv economists. The unemployment rate, which is calculated based on a separate survey, dropped more than expected to 4.2 from 4.6, the lowest since the pandemic began. So, you see, these lizards here, they just keep lying to their teeth, thinking that you're stupid. And honestly, when you look at the picture of him here, he actually do look like a lizard. He don't look like a human being. Sorry, but he does. He looks like a lizard. One of those that crawl on their belly on four legs. You know, like a iguana or whatever. He's a chameleon. But it's actually not what I want to talk about. Well, you know, 80 House Republicans joined Democrat vote for fund federal vaccine database. You know that. This new fantastic HR 550 bill. So 80 Republicans has joined with the Democrats to pass alarming new legislation that will fund federal vaccination database, according to Fox News, Todd Starnes. You do know this is illegal. It is. It's illegal. They can't do this, but they did. So I would say this is probably one of the final nails in the coffin of this country. We allowed this to happen, and no one is protesting it. No one. You see, we can go over here and hear this one. Well, that pretty much
Your
sums
health
it up, doesn't it?
information, your rights.
Let's go back here.
Whether your
This
health
bill, known as
information is stored on
Immunization
paper or
Infrastructure
electronically,
Modernization
you have
Act,
the right to keep
provides
it private.
$400 million
Those rights are protected under
in
a law
taxpayer
known as
dollars to
HIPAA,
fund
the Health Insurance
immunization
Portability and Accountability
system
Act.
data
HIPAA gives you
modernization
important
and
rights.
expansion.
First
Expansion?
off, you have the right to see
What's
or get
that?
a copy of your medical records.
Right?
Sometimes you might not
The bill
be
is
able to
also
see
called
certain parts
HR
of the full
550.
record, but you always have the
This
right
new
to
system
ask.
would
If
supposedly
you
be
find
a
a mistake in
confidential
your record,
computerized
you have the right
database.
to request to
This
have it
data can be
corrected.
shared with the federal
If you
government
disagree
by
with your doctor or
expanding
health plan
the
about certain
capabilities
information
of the
in your record,
CDC, meaning
you
the
have a right to
CDC
submit
has
a
now
written
turned
statement of
into
disagreement that will be kept with your
a
record.
federal,
You also have the right to know how
I
your
don't
health
know,
information
what do you want
is
to call
used
it?
and shared. Now, your provider is allowed to
I
share
don't know
your
what you call
information
it.
for certain reasons,
But they all of a sudden have turned into some kind
when your
of
doctors work together to
police
determine
force
how to best treat you when you're sick,
for the
or to
government,
report the flu when it's in your area.
along with the
But in
FDA and
general,
the
your providers can't give
NIH,
information to an employer, for example, without your
National
permission.
Institute of Health,
And if you'd like to know who a senior health
which
information,
CEO happens to
you
be the
have the
wife
right to get a
of,
report.
the
That's
Nazi
called an
Fauci.
accounting of disclosures.
So the
HIPAA
government
gives you
would
the right to
hold
say how
records
you
of
want to be
immunization
contacted.
doses
For
administered
example,
by
you can
any
tell your
healthcare provider
what phone number they
to
should call to
persons
contact
within the
you, and
geographic
whether they can
area
leave a
covered by
message.
that database.
HIPAA also gives you the
Meaning,
right to
they
request
also
that your
have your
information
DNA.
not be shared with certain people or organizations.
And I'm not shitting you.
All these rights are spelled out
For every
in the
one of you
Notice
who's
of Privacy
vaccinated,
Practices,
when they pull
which
that
is usually
needle out of
given
your
to you
arm,
or posted at your doctor's
that
office
needle
or hospital.
is not
Be
going
sure
in
to
the
read this
dumpster.
notice carefully.
That
It
needle
lets
is
you know
kept
exactly
because it
how your
contains your
information will be
DNA.
used and shared, and how your rights are being
And that's how they
protected.
get you on file.
And lastly, if
DNA
you think any
sequence.
of these rights have been violated, you have
This
the
bill
right
is
to
sponsored
file
by
a
Democrat,
complaint. We're
Republican, and
serious about
Kuster
working
of New
with you to
Hampshire.
protect your health
Kuster
information.
explains
rights.
the system would be used to
get
remind
started-
patients when they are due for a recommended vaccine. Well, that is whenever they say so, I guess. She also said that the system will be able to identify areas with low vaccination rates to ensure equitable distribution of vaccines. 4 Republicans joined Custer as co-sponsors. This includes Representative Larry Bushcon from Indiana, James Baird from Indiana, David McKinley from West Virginia, and Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, the Lizard's home state. So, it says here, all Democrats supported the bill. 130 Republicans voted no in opposition to the bill. Thankfully, there's still some Americans left. Not one Democrat voted in opposition to the bill. Representative Mary Miller argues that the legislation would enable the federal government to track unvaccinated Americans. This is exactly why this bill has been put in place. Nothing else. Oh yeah, there's another else, but it doesn't serve your interest anyway. Trust me on that. Oh, that's something a narcissist says. Well, believe me, I'm coming to that. These Americans would be targeted and forced to comply with Biden's crazy global vaccination vision, Miller says. It's not Biden's. I mean, that man is a buffoon, right? It's coming from Obama. It's coming from Bill Gates. It's coming from WHO. It's coming from all these elitists. And Biden is just a pawn with an earpiece repeating everything that is being said to him. So here, I want you to hear this one.
80 Republicans just voted with Democrats to pass a bill to fund a government vaccine database. Think we need that? If the law passes, it would expand the CDC's powers. Think we need that? They're now an intel agency. And the database should be used, among other things, to remind patients when they are due for a recommended vaccine, as if you need to be harangued by the government more about your health. Do you think you do? Joe Ken doesn't think you do. He's a former member of the Army Special Forces. He's running to represent the 3rd Congressional District in Washington State. The member of Congress who currently occupies that seat voted for this database bill. We are happy to have Joe Kent join us tonight. Joe, thanks so much for coming on. So why do you think at a moment when Americans are literally losing their jobs over these mandates, that Republicans are spending their time creating a federal vax database?
Well, it's absolutely disgraceful, for one, Tucker. I mean, the Republican Party right now is supposed to be the ones defending us from this tyranny, from this assault on all of our liberties, but really they're going along with the interests of both big government, big pharma, and their big corporate donors. The woman I'm running against, Jamie Hura Butler, she's taking money from Johnson & Johnson. She's done nothing about the tyrannical vaccine mandates coming from Joe Biden and from our tyrant governor, Jay Inslee, who just referred to the unvaccinated as a threat to public health today. So we need the Republicans that are not willing to fight for their people to have primary challenges and to have their constituents light them up, to call them and make their voices heard.
As a scientific matter, as a medical matter, a factual matter,
So did you just hear that? So these systems are designed to allow for the sharing of crucial information and maintenance of records. Do we really trust the government to protect our medical records? Miller said.
I mean, I think
and as you just heard, your medical information
members of Congress that won't stand tall for their constituents, who, as you said, they're losing
this
their jobs. They're having to make very hard decisions. Do they take the jab, or do they face
that is unconstitutional. It's illegal.
Afford to feed their children when we have, the vaccine's been approved now for 5 to 16-year-olds. When are they going to tell us that we have to get our kids?
It doesn't end here.
If we don't start pushing back,
it goes further.
They're going to keep taking more and more of our liberties, and the Republican
This is
Party
a Chinese-owned company in California called Fulgen, also called Fulgen Genetics.
But you're on the road running
their mission is to develop gene sequencing for helping people.
This is huge. This right now, with the mandates and especially the way
that also can be used for
ahead of the federal government,
like
and he put the state
vaccine is an mRNA vaccine, meaning it's genetic.
Quite a few people, nurses,
and we got someone here who is actually supporting them. CMS, Clinical Laboratory Improvement Amendments, CAP, College of American Pathologists Accreditation, California Clinical Laboratory License.
Along with this, she just voted for this
Pennsylvania,
that's going to be used to
Lizard's home place. Oh, look at that. There he is. That's Joe Biden hanging down that stick. Pennsylvania Clinic Laboratory Permit, Maryland Medical Laboratory Licenses, and New York State Clinical Laboratory Permit. This company here is run by this guy. He's Chinese.
If you won't defend your voters, you deserve to lose. It's that simple.
It is like this.
Completely. Joe Kent, we're honored to have you on tonight.
They are going to sell the DNA.
Thank you very much, Tucker.
To China. And they're already doing it. He looks so sympathetic, doesn't he? He's just as crooked and evil as Xi Jinping. Period. He's a, what do you want to call him? He's an infiltrator. And now he is a billionaire doing this shit here. And there happens to be a movie from 1963 called Omicron. And this one is an Italian spaghetti movie. Unfortunately, it's in Italian. And I think there is, it says here with English subtitles. So you will have to watch it. It's a movie of 1 hour and 21 minutes, 54 seconds. But this is about an alien takes over the body of an Earthman in order to learn about the planet so his race can take it over. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, it does. Why does that sound familiar? Because I can show you. This is alien. This is not God's creation. I'm not going to tell you what this is. You can find that out yourself. But right now, if you follow the patterns of that stuff there that I can't mention, on Apple TV there's a show called Invasion running. And that alien presence that is invading Earth and terraforming it, does that sound familiar too? AKA chemtrails? These creatures, or whatever they are, they funny enough have the exact same features as this stuff. Exactly the same. This is not God's creation. This is alien. This is evil. And I can tell you one thing, that he causes all, small and great, free and bond, everyone, to receive his mark. And that is an ongoing process that we are experiencing right now. And this is part of it. And the whole world marvels after the beast. And there you have it. There's your beast. The beast in you. That's all I can say. So I'm going to end the video there. And you've been watching a link underneath. And in the video here, just type that in and get some additional information. While this is rendering, I am going to put together a Mike from Around the World and Steve Quayle with a driving video, so you can watch that and listen into the latest what is going on. Look at that. Just like on the movie Invasion on Apple TV. If you have the access to that, go watch it. It's pretty interesting. Over and out. God bless you. Well, I was a little hasty. I forgot something very important. You remember I was talking about this Chinese guy, this company in America selling your DNA information to China. And I want you to, if you don't, or haven't, I want you to watch the latest James Bond movie, No Time to Die. And I'm not gonna say anything to it other than I encourage you, even if you don't like James Bond, I don't care if you like James Bond, this is worth your time. You got to watch that one. You have to watch it. I don't care. Go down and bloody buy the DVD in Walmart. Watch it. And pay close attention. All the way through. And then you will exactly understand what is going on at this very moment. Okay? That's all I got to say. Gotta watch that movie. I am pretty sure that will put the puzzle pieces together in your head. Unless you are stupid liberal. Then you won't get it. I'm sorry I'm stepping on some people's toes, but if you are liberal, you're stupid. Period. You cannot be a liberal and believe that you are a normal human being, given what you've been seeing unfolding in this country. Sorry. Over and out. God bless you.